This armoire just arrived from France. This is a wedding armoire in the Normandy style. This would have been gifted to a bride right before she got married to store all of her things in. This was made in the late 17th century, early 18th century. Everything is all solid oak construction and all of this is hand carved. So there's a lot of irregularities in all of the carvings and everything throughout this whole piece, which makes it super unique and irregular. Now the lock was made by a blacksmith back in the day and it does still work. The key is original and everything is included. Now what makes this a wedding armoire is back then anything that had fruit or birds or flowers typically meant it was for a wedding armoire. It was fertility and stuff like that. So all of this is brass hardware. There's little etchings throughout the entire piece, and I'll do a little close-up video in a totally different one about that just because it is totally unique in itself. Now whenever it came over here, it did still have one original shelf. We had to make two more, but I tried to keep them as original looking as possible. They are 1 inch thick, over 4 feet wide, and 18 inches deep. Suckers, very heavy. But everything is super solid. Originally this would have been made to be a knockdown armoire to where it is easily taken apart and put back together. This is no longer really easy to take apart because it now has wooden dowels throughout the whole entire thing, and I did end up sanding that over to where it can no longer be taken apart. However, the crown can be taken off, but for easy transport I would say this as a whole, it's so structurally sound, it's best to just leave it as it is. Now there is a little lock on this top shelf right here to close this door. And everything's good as new. Now the back side, I'll do another video on, is so irregular. The reason why I say it's so old is back in that day it was very common to use sapwood and irregular thicknesses of wood. So there's a good 1/2 inch thickness difference in all of the boards on the back side, and it even has pit-sawn marks. Here, I'll just show you. So this whole back side varies a whole lot in thickness because this was actually hand dimensioned, and all of these saw marks right here are actually saw marks that were cut by hand in the pit. So two people would have been working together with the saw going back and forth, which is why all of these marks here are so irregular. You can see at some point there had been some sort of bug infestation right here on the sapwood. It is no longer a problem and it has been taken care of. But it just really shows the overall how great of construction something like this